Is this it, the moment we've all feared, the spark that could ignite World War III? Tensions between the U.S. and China are rising fast, and what's happening right now could change everything. This isn't fear-mongering. It's real, and the world is watching. Let's break it down. For months, the U.S. and China have been locked in a silent battle economically, politically, and now, potentially militarily. From the South China Sea to Taiwan, the pressure is building. And in global politics, pressure like this always finds a release. It started as trade disputes, then tech bans. Now, military ships are eyeing each other across contested waters, and jets are scrambling in near-miss encounters that could go horribly wrong with just one mistake. One wrong move, one misread signal, that's all it takes. Recently, U.S. military presence in the Indo-Pacific has been stepped up significantly. Aircraft carriers, destroyers, surveillance planes, you name it. In China, it's not backing down. Massive naval drills, jet incursions into Taiwan's air defense zone, and new alliances forming with countries like Russia and North Korea. The chessboard is being set. The players are moving, so what's actually at stake here? Let's start with Taiwan, the flashpoint everyone's talking about. China sees Taiwan as a breakaway province. The U.S. sees it as a democratic ally. If China tries to take it by force, the U.S. might intervene. That's not speculation. President after president has walked the tightrope of strategic ambiguity, but recent statements, they've made things much clearer and a lot more dangerous. Imagine if China launches an attack. The U.S. responds. Now you've got two nuclear superpowers in direct conflict. Other countries, Japan, South Korea, Australia, could get pulled in. The whole region lights up. It's not just a war, it's a global crisis, but it's not just about territory, it's about power, influence, the future of global leadership. The U.S. has been the dominant global force for decades, but China, it's rising fast economically, technologically, militarily, and they're challenging the status quo. The standoff isn't just about who controls what island, it's about who controls the future. Here's the wild part. Both sides are also deeply connected. Economically, they need each other. The U.S. relies on Chinese manufacturing. China relies on U.S. consumers. But geopolitics doesn't always follow logic. When fear, nationalism, and pride get involved, things can spiral fast, and it's not just governments, it's people. Chinese citizens are being fed a steady stream of nationalist messaging. Americans, too, are growing wary of China's rise. The more each side fears the other, the more they prepare for the worst. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Think back to history. World War I didn't start with a grand plan. It started with tension, alliances, and one spark. Then boom, a chain reaction the world couldn't stop. Could we be seeing something similar now? Some experts say no war between the U.S. and China would be too costly, too destructive, too insane, and maybe they're right. But others argue that the world is already in the early stages of a new kind of war. One that's not declared with bombs but with chips, data, propaganda, and cyber attacks. Cyber warfare is already happening. Espionage, hackings, AI arms races. It's not the Cold War, it's colder, more hidden. More digital, but just as dangerous. And if things do explode, if there's a blockade, an accident, or an intentional strike, the escalation could be rapid. In today's world, war doesn't wait. Missiles don't ask for negotiations. AI doesn't pause for diplomacy. So where does this leave us, honestly, on edge? The world is at a crossroads. What happens next depends on decisions made behind closed doors, on diplomacy, communication, and sometimes sheer luck. But one thing's for sure, this is not just about two countries posturing. It's about the future of global order, about how we as a world navigate a new era of great power rivalry. It's okay to feel uneasy. These are massive, complex issues, but understanding them, that's the first step, because awareness leads to pressure, and pressure leads to accountability. We can't afford to sleepwalk into conflict. If you've made it this far, you're clearly someone who cares, someone who thinks deeper, so let's talk about it. What do you think? Is this the start of something bigger, or just more political theater? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this video with someone who needs to see what's really going on, and if you want more real talk, no fluff, no fear, mongering, just straight-up analysis, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because the world is changing fast, and we're going to keep making sense of it together.